One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
You know, the Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air. So, you know, to me, it's, if this is not our military, then it's even more scary, and we need answers, frankly.
So I really did not think that a conversation about UFOs was going to be super relevant to the Trump-Biden presidential transition, but that is apparently the state of America right now. This is the biggest story in the country, is these reports and these sightings of gigantic drones flying over the state of New Jersey. A bunch of people are seeing them. The Biden administration refuses to tell us what is going on. Trump is now making a certain promise in regards to these drones that we'll tell you about here today. But first, I do want to say, if anyone watching this video is from New Jersey, you've seen the drones, you've heard about them, feel free to share your story in the comment section, because we'd love to know, right? Have you seen them? What are people saying about this? What do they really look like? Feel free to let us know. And by the way, while you're at it, be sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and you've not yet subscribed. But with that said, okay, so let's get into this. I want to first show you what Trump is saying about the mystery drones flying over the United States, and then we'll talk about the speculation in terms of what these drones really are, because on one hand, the Biden administration refuses to really tell us anything. We're going to try to decipher what they're saying, and your conclusion by the end of it will probably be that you have absolutely no confidence in the current leadership of our federal government. But let's get right into that. Okay, so this was as of today. President Trump is calling for the drones to be shot down if they can't be identified by the government. This is the statement he put out on Truth Social. So, mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? And of course, the answer there is no. At least I would think, I would hope. You know, you never know under Biden these days. But yes, I would assume that the US government knows what's really happening here. They just don't want to tell us. But we'll get into that later in the video. He says, he kind of did not spell check this Truth Social post, but I don't think so. Let the public know about it, and now, otherwise, shoot them down, DJT. So he's saying either the government should be clear about what's going on here, what are these drones, or if you don't know what the drones are, then shoot them down. Yeah, that seems like pretty common sense. And look, my take on it, my instinct is these are coming, it seems like, from a nearby naval base in New Jersey. These are probably US government drones. They're doing something, they're testing something, whatever, but they don't want to tell the public about it, right? It's supposed to be top secret, except my issue is if it's so secret and confidential where you can't tell us, okay, but why wouldn't you hide it from the public then? You're flying these reportedly over residential neighborhoods. We see some videos today where allegedly people are now shooting at the drones. If you're going to hide it from the public, then don't let the public see it. And then if you're not going to hide it, then tell them what's going on. But don't have the situation where you have, like, supposedly US drones, it would appear, just flying over places. People are scared. Nobody knows what's happening. Now, apparently, according to Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew, what he is claiming is that these drones are coming from the ocean and may be linked to a potential quote-unquote Iranian mothership. So that's what he is saying, right? The Iranians apparently have like UFOs. There's an alien mothership, you know, being operated by some Persian people, and they're sending them to the United States. I don't exactly believe it. I'll tell you why in a second. But first, okay, here's what he's saying about it, just so you can get his perspective.
In focus now, Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, member of the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill right now. How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. Okay,
so that is his theory. Again, like Persian UFOs, they're operating this Iranian mothership. Elon Musk posted this today and it's accurate, right? That's what they're claiming. That's what Jeffrey Andrew is saying. Okay, and I have a couple problems with his claim. It's possible. I'm not going to rule it out, but a couple issues I have there. It's like, first of all, again, it sounds kind of ridiculous. Like, again, the Persian UFOs, they're operating this mothership, really. But on top of that, it's like, first of all, his claim is, well, if it was the U.S. government, then they would tell us, wouldn't they? No, they would not, right? Our government's not exactly the most transparent institution on earth. It's perfectly possible that they are doing this and they're not telling us. So that's issue number one. Of course, issue number two I have is it's kind of hard to believe this stuff sometimes because they blame Iran for literally anything and everything. Why? Because the CIA, for a very long time, since the Bush years and probably before that, has wanted regime change in Iran, and they'll do anything that justifies a war with Iran. They'll say anything. But with that said, in total fairness to him, the U.S. government has yet to clarify what exactly is going on here. Now, today, John Kirby got in front of a White House press briefing and said, quote, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. So that's a very coded, cryptic statement. Again, what exactly does that really mean? But it does suggest, I guess the implication there is probably that, yes, it is the federal government doing this. Now, do we believe our military, I should say? Now, do we believe our federal government? Do we believe Biden? Not really, right? That's why you can't totally write off Jeff Van Drew or even the alien conspiracy theorists. But, at the same time, it's like, if it were the Iranians, why haven't we shot them down? Shouldn't we do that immediately? Then again, it's Biden, like, who knows? But here's what John Kirby had to say.
Now, finally, I just want to add a few comments on the reports of drone activity here on the East Coast, particularly in and around New Jersey. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully.
So yeah, you heard that there. Now interpret it as you will. We are talking about the Biden administration. If you don't want to believe them, I'm not sure I really believe them, right? But they're saying that it's not the Iranians. It's not the Persian alien UFOs. They're not speaking Farsi, But again, who knows, right? But you may hear that statement and think, okay, we should be pretty confident. It sounds like we know what's going on here. Except today, John Kirby then went on Fox News and he didn't really sound quite as confident as in that press briefing. He said the following, quote, we know people are afraid. We know people have concerns. We have those same concerns. Kirby goes on to say that not even drones that are stalking Coast Guard ships off the coast of the U.S. will be taken down. What? Right, well, what is going? Okay, take a listen to what he has to say.
You know, and you can't say. Can you tell me that?
No, I'm telling you, Martha. I'm telling you, we don't. We can't corroborate every single sighting. Some of them we have, not all of them, and we're working hard to do that. We know people are afraid of it. We know people have concerns. We have those same concerns.
Yeah, because they're flying over your house, and it sounds like there are motorcycles landing on your roof. So let me ask you this: one, person who watched this online said they think it's a Pterodynamics Transwing Drone XP4, which is being developed by the U.S. Navy as a recon and logistics drone capable of picking up and dropping off packages between land and moving ships in high seas and winds. You know, they're suggesting it's an American company. We asked the company. They said we can't speculate on the origin of the drones.
Okay, so again, if my question is, if that's what's happening, if they're just testing out these drones, why don't you tell people that before you're going to go flying them over people's houses, right? Like, shouldn't they know? Oh, but it's top secret. We can't say. Clearly not. Again, people are taking videos of these drones. They're seeing them. So if people in New Jersey are seeing them, then China definitely can see them, right? Iran knows, you know, North Korea, Russia, they all know. So what's with the lack of transparency? It doesn't really make any sense. It's not very coherent. That's why the whole thing is so strange and confusing. But let's continue.
That has been inspected. You know, is this a private company that is practicing something? And what wouldn't they have to clear something with somebody to have this kind of activity?
It could very well be, as I said, these could be commercially developed drones of some kind.
Why not just take one down and figure out what's going on?
Well, the idea of taking something down, again, you want to worry about public safety. First of all, we don't have enough conclusions to take that kind of a policy action. But let's just assume for a minute, Martha, that we did. I mean, you're not going to want to shoot something down where it could hit somebody's house or hurt somebody.
Well, the Coast Guard says that there are 30 of them following one of their ships in the ocean. So would that work?
I mean, again, we have to develop the policy options based on what we know we're dealing with here, and we just don't know enough to make those to take those kinds of actions. But my goodness, we're going to do everything we can to find out, and we're going to share as much as we can. I understand it's frustrating for folks.
Yeah.
It's frustrating for us. We want to know as well.
So in the press conference, it sounded like, you know, look, we don't want to say it, but we kind of know what's going on here. But then he gets on TV and you realize they don't really know what's going on, or do they? Or what? You got them allegedly also stalking a U.S. Coast Guard ship. Okay, Coast Guard is a part of the military, and the Coast Guard doesn't know? So then, I don't know, maybe they really are flying Farsi UFOs over everyone, but like, can't you figure that out? This is ridiculous. Secretary Mayorkas, by the way, goes on to say that they've seen nothing unusual and don't have the authority to do anything about it. We can't just shoot a drone out of the sky. Really? Because I would think if the Iranians were really doing this, they could. Okay, but here's what he also had to say.
Only within the past few minutes, and I don't even know if you know this, Mr. Secretary, the President-elect Donald Trump, he just called on the Biden administration for you guys to either release any information it has about these mysterious drone sightings or shoot the drones out of the sky. How do you respond to the President-elect?
Well, first of all, the statements I've made already are the principal message that I want to communicate to the American public. We haven't seen anything unusual. We know of no threat. Secondly, we have gone to Congress.
Then tell us what we're seeing. Anything unusual? It's not unusual for drones to be stalking Coast Guard ships and flying over people's houses. They're giant, like it sounds like motorcycles, according to people. Nothing unusual. Nothing to see here, guys. Really? Really? Again, you clearly... Okay, if that's true, then you must know what they are. Because otherwise it would be unusual. If it's not unusual, then explain to us what it is. You don't want to do that? Why? Because you want to keep something top secret? Again, if you want to keep it top secret... Everyone's already seen the drones, okay? So nothing is being kept secret now. So what's with the lack of transparency? It's ridiculous. It's actually insane, okay? So, but yeah, that's what we have. I mean, what a fitting end to the Biden administration. You just got UFOs in America now. Like, you ever want a summary of how chaotic and dysfunctional just America was under his leadership? There you go. That's in the final month. We got UFOs, basically. They're drones, but some people are saying they're, again, Iranian aliens and nobody knows, right? No one can give us an answer on what's going on. You got people in New Jersey, apparently, according to some videos, literally trying to shoot at the drones, right? They're taking guns and shooting at them. And you see that and you don't think, okay, maybe we should get people to calm down and explain what's going on. I don't know. Maybe it's the aliens, you know, I don't know. Like, what is happening here? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, guys. Subscribe if you are new. And until next time, God bless and peace.